Alright everyone, I hope you had a great time installing Mongoose and getting that up and running. And if you saw the 8th video in my Mittens series, you now know how to remove an object from the database. But what's better than removing objects from a database is hiding them. Because think about it, when you delete a tweet on Twitter, they're not actually deleting it from their servers or their databases. They're just hiding it from you. Just in case the government comes around and wants to get all of your data, they want to see the stuff you deleted as well. So they're saving that stuff, and I'm going to show you how to do just that. And not only am I going to show you how to save it and hide it, I'm going to do it using Mongoose. So we're going to take that route we made, /meows/remove, and instead of getting the collection and then removing an object, I'm just going to do it the Mongoose way. So I'm going to update the object with a field saying that it's hidden. So let's start with our schema. Let's say there's a new field in our schema called Deactivated. And let's set it equal to a Boolean. In fact, let's give it a default value of, let's say type is Boolean, and let's say default false. So unless it's set to true, it's not deactivated. This is the this is AULT. There we go. So deactivated, you can call it deleted. Just basically, I'm adding a new field to my object. It's like a little flag, like it just either raised or lowered. And if it's true, that means it's deleted, but not really. It's just I'm saying don't give it back to the front end. So on the front end, what I can do is I can say meows collection.find deactivated false. Find me all the meows that are not deactivated. Basically everything that's not deleted. Let's just make sure that still works. It does not. Okay, let's see. Deactivated false. Okay, it's either null or false. Let's try this. There's an operator called or. Let me think for a second here. Null, deactivated. Actually, I think deactivated. Let's do it the Mongoose way. This should work the Mongoose way. Let's do Mongoose get documents. So let me get all. Okay, yeah, it's okay. So it's gonna be meow.find. Find, and then a function. Okay. So empty object means find everything, and then a function that has error, and then meows, and then open that function up, and then close it down here, and then we just do return res.json meows, and then I can go ahead and delete all that. And now that is much simpler way of getting the meows. So let's refresh this. Okay, now it's working. And again, let's do deactivated. Oops. And then false. Give me all the ones that are not deactivated. Refresh that. It's still not coming through. Deactivated. Let's try true. Save that. Okay, maybe it's null. Okay. Okay, this will work too. If it's null, that means it's not deactivated. That means it hasn't been deleted. So instead of removing it, I'm going to set deactivated to true. So what I'm going to do is meow.update. This is the Mongoose way, because remember meow is the name of the schema. So I can do meow.update, and I can say underscore ID. Oops, underscore ID. In fact, I could just copy paste exactly what we have here. Again, this object ID, let's see, mongoose.query. Mongoose find by. I know it's going to be weird because if you remember, we had to use this weird object ID notation for the MongoDB driver. For the Mongoose driver, it's going to be similar. Okay. type. How do I query it though? Find one ID, restaurant ID. Okay, it might work with just a string. Let's see if this works. So meow ID, move it up here, and let me do meow ID without anything around it. Let's see if this works. Update, and then the thing we're gonna change, it's called $set, and then you say deactivated true. It's just the way you do it in Mongoose, and then a function, error, and then as long as there's no error, you just do res.send. Ideally in production, you're going to be doing error checking here and sending back an error. So again, I can delete all this. Let's see if this works. Refresh this, and then I'm logged in as Dave 8, so I can delete this. Okay, deleted. Okay, but again, it's not really deleting it. It's still in the database. So let's just take a gander at what's in our database. Let's do mongo. Show DBs. Use mittens. Show collections. Again, you could use Mongo Chef if you want a more visual way of doing this. And then you could do db.meows.find. Okay. And again, if you look at these last couple, you'll see deactivated is true because I clicked the X. So they're still there. They're hidden. Those ones with all the A's that I hit X on, they're still in the database. But the front end, this query that's querying them is only looking for the ones that are null for deactivated. So again, they're still hiding from you. So if the government comes along and comes to me as the website owner, they're going to be like, give me all the data on this guy, and I got all that data. Same thing for advertisers. Advertisers want to know your every move. This is what Facebook and Twitter is doing behind the scenes. They're recording all that data. Even if you deleted it, they still have your profile at hand. They know what you click on, what you like, what you post, even if you remove all that stuff. So just something to know. Okay, let me close that, and then let me put the server back up. One last thing I want to show you guys is something I also do a lot, aside from deactivated. I usually have a timestamp for when the object was created. So I say created. All my objects usually have a created field, and I'll say date. But even better than date, I'll have type date, but also have a default value. Default date.now. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me just double check. Mongoose timestamp. Let's see here. Mongoose assigns created at date.now. Okay, so there's no parentheses. So this is the common syntax for making a timestamp. You can call it timestamp, you can call it created, but usually you want to record when that object was created in time. It's just useful for many different things, especially even on the front end. If I knew the timestamp of all these meows, which I don't right now because I wasn't saving them, if I knew them, then I could sort by time. So I can sort the most recent one at the top. Right now it's at the bottom, but I can't sort it to the top because I don't know when they were created. I wasn't recording that data, but I can start doing that now. So now that I have this and I make a new meow, I can say this one has a timestamp and submit it. And now let's take a look at our database. So Mongo, use mittens, db.meows.find, and as you can see right here, created has a created field, and it has what's called an ISO date, which is the date type that MongoDB uses, and it just has a nice little string, 2016 June 4th, and a little timestamp there. And I can sort by that on the front end. I could be like sort by created, and then that can give me the latest ones on top. I can also sort it on the back end. When I do meow.find, instead of just getting the callback function, I can do meow.find.sort, and then I can say sort by created, and then I can do .exec, which means execute. Anytime you add stuff besides like .find, you have to do .exec, which means execute. So a lot of people type their stuff like this: meow.find.sort.execute. So that's what's known as chaining. So I'm chaining a whole bunch of different things here. It's a little more complex, the reasoning and why that works. It's just know that it's called chaining and that it works in Mongoose. That's all you need to know for this stuff. So I'm finding it, I'm sorting it, I'm executing that query that I just constructed, and then that should sort it by created time. Oops, it's not running. The server's not running. Try that again. Okay, let me sort by negative created to sort the most recent at the top. Okay. And okay, it might not be. Let's try this. Newer one. Submit. Where is newer one? Oh, you know what's going on? What's happening is that it's not finding the ones I just added because their deactivated field is false, and I'm searching for anything that has a deactivated field of null. So I have to do this other thing called OR in MongoDB. It has an OR operator which lets us say this or that. So either it's deactivated, I'll say deactivated null, or deactivated is false. And then ideally, if I started with Mongoose from the very beginning, I can just do deactivated false and I'd be happy. But I have all this old legacy meows in my database, and I don't feel like updating them. So I'm just going to make this OR statement to work with both. So this should work. Oh, there's a syntax error here. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I'm forgetting a squiggly bracket. Let's try that again. Refresh it, and here we go. Newer one up here. Newest. Submit, and there we go. The newest ones are now on top because I am sorting by negative created on the back end. If I just sorted by created, which is ascending, the newest one will be on the bottom. So you want to do negative if you want to get it on top, because you want to go from newest to oldest. That's how you gotta do it. And if you remember from the other videos, I did a little bit of sorting, I think, in here. Actually, I'm not sure if I showed it, but HTML. Where's my ng repeat? Yeah. So ng repeat, you can do pipe, and then you could do order by. So you do ng repeat, meow meows, order by, and then created. This is another way of sorting it. So it depends if you want to send back everything, then you could just do front end sorting. But if you're sending back different pages of data, you're going to want to sort it. You're going to want to limit the data so that you have different pages, because you could do .sort, .skip, .limit. There's different ways of paginating data, because you don't want to load, say you have 10,000 meows in your database. You don't want to send back all 10,000 to the front end, because you'll just clog up your server. It'll take a long time to load. What you're going to do is you're going to do .skip, .sort, .limit. And you should look up tutorials on how to do this. You should Google MongoDB skip, limit, sort, and do a tutorial on how to use all these three in conjunction to send back paginated data. Because right now we're playing with like 20 meows, but we're going to get thousands of these. I mean, there's no way we can send all this back. So you got to get good at doing all this stuff. We do this in production all the time in the field, skipping, sorting, usually on the back end, not on the front end. Sometimes on the front end though. But it's a little intro to some more advanced Mongo and Mongoose topics. So enjoy.